Yeah, it's really hurt them. Obviously, what Brian Windhorst said the other night was pretty harsh, but it was accurate. He obliterated him, put him right in a coffin. But yeah, he's not lying. I mean, Luka's defense has just not been that good. Now, Sharps were heavy on the Mavericks yesterday. Now we're kind of seeing Sharps and the public all over Boston in Game 4. Mavericks could win this game because it's hard to sweep in the NBA Finals. You look at the 76 NBA Finals series that we've had, only 10 of them had been sweeps. So I guess it kind of favors Dallas in that regard, but Boston's just such a better team. Now, the best two offensive and clutch players on the floor at any given time are Luka and Kyrie. I still want to give them their praise. But the strength is the Celtics team in this series overall, and Boston has played perfect team basketball. For the Mavericks to really come out and win this, you need to see Luka and Kyrie put together 48 strong minutes, each of them. I mean, when they're on the floor, if it's 44, 45, 46 minutes, whatever they're playing, they need to be flawless, or this team really doesn't have that big of a chance. Because when you look at it for Boston, everyone from Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown all the way down to Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard have made shots, rebounded, assists, played team basketball, and done what it takes to win. And I think what we're seeing with Luka, there's a lot of foul baiting, obviously, in Game 3. When you look at Luka, I just don't think he knows what hit him here. Like, he's a tough dude, obviously. He played overseas. That is a tougher environment than anything you're going to get in the NBA on any given night. But when you look at him, it's just like he doesn't know what to do, because no matter what he does scoring-wise, even if he plays hard defense, it's really not going to make a difference in this series when you see what Boston's been able to do and finally put together a full team effort here. So I really like what Boston's doing right now. They're playing locked-in team basketball, and that's been their strength all season. If we were to manipulate this game and bring it down to, hey, this is Luka and Kyrie versus Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, maybe you can make the case for the Mavericks here, but everyone on Boston is doing what it takes to win, and there's no reason to bet the Mavericks, in my opinion, in this game. I'll take the Celtics money line. 100%. Before I break down this prop, I need to say, everyone is surprised, it seems, that Jaylen Brown is coming out and playing so well right now. Jaylen Brown's shooting much more efficient from the field in the NBA Finals than he has been throughout the season. But Jaylen Brown is a supermax player. He is making a lot of money. It should be no surprise that he is coming out and playing great basketball. In this whole Tatum versus Brown comparison, you should be happy they're coexisting. They're playing well together. They're both doing whatever it takes to win. And that's, as a Boston fan, that's exciting to see here. But looking at this Jason Tatum prop, I'm going to go over 27.5 points. Really hasn't been the most efficient scorer in the NBA Finals. Even in Game 3, he had 31 points. But still, from the three-point line, he really wasn't that good. Only shot 30% from there. The inefficiency is probably the ultimate reason why he's not going to win the Finals MVP when Boston clinches the series. But when I bet props, I want to bet on numbers and probability and the guys that are taking the majority of the shots. Tatum still shot the ball 26 times in Game 3. He shot 22 times in Game 2 and really wasn't feeling it from the field in Game 2 by any means. And in Game 3, he had 13 threes. So he might not be the leading scorer on every game, might not be the leading scorer on any given night, but he's taking the majority of the shots. So when you're giving me 27.5 points, coming off the 31-point game, feeling that momentum right now, and with the way Luke is playing defense, he's just allowing so many blow-bys here. That favors Tatum because he can drive to the hoop and he can also, shoot the contested three too. So the harder the shot, it seems like Jason Tatum tends to make more of those. He did that in Game 3. I'm going to look for him to build on that and do it once again in Game 4. Also, looking at the regular season, I know it doesn't mean as much, but in 2 games against Dallas, he did average 35.5 points. So that big game is there. There's still a lot to get better on, even from his Game 3 31-point performance. I think he's going to do that here in Game 4. Yeah, I mean, my 2 favorite players on the Celtics right now are Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard. Just love seeing what these 2 guys have been able to contribute off the bench. And this Sam Hauser prop, 2+ threes for +100 right now, you really can't beat it. They've kind of been a gold mine throughout the entire season and in the NBA Finals. He's a sharpshooter. He thrives on the perimeter, and the Mavericks, the way they're playing defense, really gives him opportunities to take those 3-point shots because you have guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown driving past Luka. Luka's giving up tons of blow-bys, and all these perimeter defenders are having to collapse and go help in the paint. And nothing against Sam Hauser, but when he's on the floor with Tatum and Brown and all these star players, he's the one that the Mavericks are going to leave open because they have to leave him open, right? He's the one guy that I got to double team Tatum and Brown. I can't worry about Sam Hauser. And he's been knocking down his shots. He's gone over 2+ threes in 2 of 3 finals games so far. In the one game where he missed, he was 0 for 5 from 3. And that gives me confidence as a bettor as well because he's a 42% 3-point shooter. He's typically not going to miss those shots. And he still took 5 3-pointers in a game where he's only playing about 20 minutes a night. So really like Sam Hauser, what he's been able to do. And he's contributing in so many ways. And when you are betting props, don't forget about these role players. because they can have big nights too. Luis Gil's been one of the best pitchers in baseball, obviously, this season. 8-1 with a 2.04 ERA and a .93 whip, just like our guy Garrett Crochet. The Red Sox do hit a lot of homers. That's how they score runs. But this is just a bad matchup against Gil because he's surrendered just 5 homers in 75 innings. Red Sox also strike out a lot. He struck out 90 batters in 75 innings. So just not a good matchup for Boston. Now, while the Red Sox have been successful against the Phillies when it comes to offense here, Gil hasn't had many issues this season. I'm going to trust him in this spot. The Yankees should have their success against Brian Bayo, who's going to go for Boston. Bayo's been getting lit up as of late. The rock bottom, I think, for Bayo came when he gave up 5 runs in 4.2 innings in his last start to the White Sox. That's embarrassing. The Yankees are going to put up runs on Bayo. However, 9's a pretty lofty total here when I just don't see the Red Sox contributing that much to the total. And also, when you look at this New York team, the bottom of their lineup has a lot of holes in it. So if he can just get through the Judge and the Sotos and the top of the order, I think Bayo can maneuver the bottom of the lineup enough to keep the Yankees' runs to a limit to keep this game under 9. But Sean Manaea, really not a world beater, but the Padres don't hit left-handers that well. They've really been good against right-handers, hitting 276, but off left-handers, just batting 235. That's 22nd in baseball. So Manaea, bad in his past 2 starts, no doubt about it. The Padres can probably get to him, even though he's a lefty. But every time, at least the past few times I've been on San Diego, when they're facing left-handed pitching, they really don't break out that well, and it takes them a while to get going here. So hopefully they can keep the runs down early. On the flip side, for the Padres, Matt Waldron's going to go. He's been lights out, and we can't give him enough praise. In the past 30 days, he's got a 1.5 ERA and a 2.02 opponent batting average. So just really good stuff from him. The Mets can't hit at home, as you were saying, so Waldron should have a pretty good matchup here. They're 22nd in home runs, or a home run scored this season. So look for Waldron to keep shoving here, and all factors are just pointing to limited runs as long as Manaea can keep the Padres tamed in this game. Well, I mean, Greg, you can answer this. When did Chris Sale decide to remember how to pitch? Because when I was watching in Boston, it was terrible. He falling off bikes, getting injured all the time. Now he goes to the Braves. It's like he remembered how to pitch. 8-2 with a 3 ERA and a .94 whip. 7th in baseball. 9th in strikeouts. Where was this when he was in Boston at the end of his career? Now, he did get rocked against the Athletics on June 1st, but really responded with a great outing against the Nationals in his previous start. As long as he lives on the corners of the plate, he's just fine here. I don't see Tampa Bay doing much. They had a really good comeback win today against the Chicago Cubs, but it's a game that the Cubs probably handed over more than the Rays won. And when you look at Tampa Bay, they're 23rd in homers off lefties and 21st in RBI. So not super afraid of this Rays offense. Zach Little is going to pitch for the Rays, 2-4 with a 3.63 ERA and a 1.29 whip. Not great numbers here. He's allowed 84 hits in 74 innings. Doesn't have that elite strikeout ability, so Atlanta should be able to settle in at the plate and just stay calm and just put the ball in play here. Superior starting pitcher for the Braves. Superior offense. If Sale can do what he's done most of the season, I think the Braves get a big win on Friday night.